Hi, it's Nikki Dora again from David Mediation. Another question from the Q&A was, is it a blessing or a curse? Now, I kind of went on a bit of a rant, I think, to myself about it. It's not a blessing, it's not a curse, it's an ability. But there are moments, and I realised this last week because I tweeted something saying with the title blessing, and I realised actually I do like it sometimes. It can be both of those things, but in general, it tends to just be quite, you feel it in a kind of mundane level. There are still magical moments, but when you're doing this all the time, it just becomes integrated in part of your life. And then that's what I'm very much focused on. I really think that you shouldn't just do mediumship for an hour or so a week. You should be integrating it to life and letting it help you, and showing the power of what the relationship with spirit can do. But when I was writing about blessing, it's because I get to see pretty much from my immediate family, all of the children that are, before they're incarnated, I tend to see them. They come and say to me, they come and say hello. They tell me things about what they're here to do. And it's a connection that a lot of people don't have. And I guess I've not really thought about that a lot. And also immediately, usually after death, they'll come and tell me, some family secrets or just things in general. And so that is a blessing, and being able to help people and have realizations. And I feel that more when it's people in everyday life, like a conversation on a bus where you get a message and you're able to relay that in a relatable way. And you can see that tiny moment. And that's when I feel I'm of service. I don't feel I'm in service to spirit at all, because I think it's a partnership. But when I'm doing something like that, I do feel like, this is amazing. There are moments where you get to speak to fetuses in the womb, or you get to speak to babies who can't speak yet, or you get to have that connection that a lot of people don't have, and that is a blessing. And obviously speaking to loved ones that I've never met. There's a lot of my great-grandparents I've not met, my grandparents have not met, a lot of my relatives, and our family structure is very interesting, and my family don't really talk about it, so I get to find out about family history through them coming back and speaking to me. On the downside, it's really hard to get rid of them sometimes. They can be really persistent, and if they don't like something, they will just keep going. If you don't want to talk to someone, you just don't pick up your phone. This is modern life. You don't pick up your phone, you don't answer your door. Spirit is a completely different thing. They will just turn up and tell you. They love to interfere. Relatives love to interfere. They love to tell you they don't like that boyfriend, don't like the way you're doing this with your life. And so that can be annoying, and sometimes you just have to go away. It is also quite weird as well when you meet other people from other people's families that you're connected to, and they come relay messages to you, and it's difficult because you don't want those messages. And I do have clear boundaries of it, but occasionally they will slip in and they'll go, can you tell so and so this? And it's like, well, that's not really my responsibility. It can also be very odd when spirits will come talk to you, and they'll pick inopportune moments. I've had someone where I was in the shower, I was getting ready for a shower, I could feel the presence. Like, no. And I know they don't see you like that, but you're like, no, you speak to me when I'm out of the shower, but this area is out of bounds, because it's just that human idea. Like, I do not want to have the idea of a presence watching me. So I think that is where it's a blessing and a curse. And knowing things is a curse as well, because there are certain moments that, especially if you're getting anything that's predictive or cognitive dreams or visions and things like that, most of those are not to actually change. They're just they're not to change the future or to stop things. Often they're just for you to know, and that's quite hard to know. Or you see people and you know that they've not got long to live. You can see by their aura, you can see in the way, and that's quite sad. It's hard to know that they're going to die soon, and you can't do anything about it. So that is quite a curse. And on a more mundane level, it's about just knowing something's coming and then not knowing exactly when. It's this whole idea that as a psychic and a medium, you should know all these things coming up. You do, you get like these nice warning moments, but on the other side, it will still surprise you when it happens. So even though you know it's coming, how it happens is always a surprise. And I've never met anyone who knows exactly how it's going to happen. You know roughly how it's going to happen, and you might even know, you wake up in that day, you tend to go, oh, I know it's going to be an interesting day, I know it's going to be a special day, it's going to be significant. But how it happens always surprises me, how Spirit managed to do that. I still manage to surprise you, even though you've known about this event, you've waited for this event for a long time. So yeah, that's a definitely both a blessing and a curse, because it's hard when it's for yourself and you know it, but also you don't know when. Astrology does help you with when, but even then you're still surprised. You know, like it's you don't, life doesn't suddenly become boring. You can still, I mean, I'm still amazed by the magic in the mundane. I'm still amazed that you see a bird giving you a message, or if I see a fox, I connect very much to those type of animals and birds. And just the little things, or you know, the signs that you see, because we're very good at utilizing all signs. So you can't even get away from it just by not doing mediumship, because they're really good with sound waves and any kind of waves. They're really good. So they can take over your phone, or they can kind of produce you know, anything to do with music or electricals. It's very easy for them to manipulate. And I once had, when I was working at home, and I then said, oh, okay, I've got to do some bits and pieces after I finish my day job, and then I'll definitely do some mediumship. I'll do some trance, because I'm a physical medium mainly. And so I was like, yeah. And then I got distracted by doing something else, and it hit literally like, because I used to finish work quite early, so I used to finish about 3:30, and it hit about 5, my Wi-Fi went down, my TV stopped working, my laptops, both my laptops wouldn't boot, and then I was okay, you've got my attention now, I'll do it. So sometimes it's really easy for them to take control of those type of things. And say you don't want to listen to the message, because sometimes you don't want to listen to the message, you've heard it but you're not interested in it. We all go through that, even mediums. I would like to see someone who doesn't. And you'll go through and you'll, you know, oh, I just want to read a really just light-hearted book just to get away from everything, and you'll get a message. There'll be a message just written in this light-hearted book. Or you want, I'll watch an escapist movie because I don't want to think about it, and then that message will come up, and you're just like, you can't get away. And sometimes it's actually on signs, literally on signs. Walked into an IKEA sign, that was it. It was another church signs, there was it was a road sign. I saw that and I'm like, oh, okay. So you get messages all the way. So I do think there's still magic in the mundane, and it doesn't become repetitive and it doesn't become boring, because that you're always learning, you're always expanding. There's, you know, especially if you're into symbolic languages, like astrology, like just looking at signs and symbols, there's so many ways that the universe can contact you, and it's so many ways that you can connect to spirit. So they'll reinforce messages, and it feels amazing. Like when it'll be like that one butterfly that you know, like really unusual for the place to be, and it'll just sit on your hand, or it will be that random kind of red feather, because I was like, I always think white feathers you can get anywhere, and it'd be a red feather like on the on the doorstep, and you'll just go, yeah, that just makes me laugh. And also there is that feeling of being loved and listened to. I think that is very important. So yes, it's both a blessing and a curse, but in general it tends to be boring and mundane. And I shouldn't really use boring, because I've just explained how beautiful it can be, but it isn't always those light bulb moments. It's not always those flashes of, you know, it's not always like the Disney movies. It's sometimes just like you get a message whilst you're doing laundry. I was like once doing laundry, and I was like, I hadn't been doing trance for a long time. I hadn't done it for a while. So I thought, well, actually, you know, can I still do it? And I was doing laundry, and I just literally went in, and I was getting all these messages whilst folding laundry. Don't fold laundry and try in trance, by the way, because it's really bad. Spirit are really bad at folding laundry, but it just reminded me that I still could do it. So hopefully I'm going to do more videos. Please leave comments or subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or queries, I'm quite happy to answer those. If not, on Twitter, I am Damon_mediator. on Facebook and Damon Mediation. So come and find me, come and have a chat, come and ask me questions, and have a good day.